In today's video, we're going to be going over the current conditions, breaking down the upcoming severe weather. We have a little bit more information about that, and really just talking about the upcoming pattern because it's going to be all over the place, guys. Really crazy weather here. Let's get straight into things, though. And first things first, we're taking a look at our current radar imagery. And as you can see, we can see storm number, I guess that's storm number 2 and 3. I always put numbers on them. It makes literally no sense. But this is the storm. This is the second one we've been talking about for the most part, and this is the third one we've been talking about for the most part. And then I guess the remnants of storm number 1 are out here. So 1, 2, 3 here. So we got a lot going on. Let's just zoom into the northwest because we do have some isolated precipitation here for Washington and Oregon, but really this isn't as stormy as things have been for the most part. So this is actually a little bit more mild, to say the least, I would say. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the Rockies because we do have quite a bit of wintry precipitation. This is either cold rain if you're in the green and yellow, or really I don't know, warm snow. It's just snowy there in the white regions there, with the blues indicating very heavy snowfall actually for portions of Idaho especially. I'm seeing some of that even there in eastern Oregon there. But not only that, we also see some of that for Utah as well. So quite a bit of snowfall taking place in that region as well. Now as we take a look where a bit closer to where the low is located at, we could tell that there is a bit of a cold front underneath and some storminess just to the east of there. Really spreading northward, and this is probably featuring really warm temperatures around there as well, with mostly the cold being bottled up over here. So it's more warm on this side. I don't know why it just stopped. Warm over here on the eastern end of things, and then colder there on the western end of things. We do have more sustained rainfall over here, but it's going to be generally lighter than it is in the thunderstorms, obviously. But those yellows and oranges, if you get hours and hours of that, that does have some flooding implications potentially with it. As that would be probably an inch or a bit more after a while of that yellow region. So if you are in the heaviest of the rainfall in here, definitely dealing with some of that heavier impacts for sure. Now these, I wouldn't be surprised if we're hearing some thunder with these in here. These look to be a little bit more intense. And definitely you could tell that overnight we had this bow echo structure that looks like this. That probably had some damaging wind implications with it. Now that is weakened here in these middle portions significantly overnight. So in here, we've seen a lot of that die down as it's crossed the Mississippi River, it looks like. So we're seeing mostly showers. We do have severe weather expected today, though, so we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, and really the next couple of days. Here on the southern end of things have died down a little bit less, but they still have died down for the most part. Things were very intense around 2, 3, and 4 a.m., and we've seen things weaken since then, thankfully. So as these pockets here are heading further southward and here are heading further eastward, we're seeing things weaken for now. But we're going to see in the model guidance what we expect to happen, and also in the Storm Prediction Center what we expect to happen later on. Now, there is some showery activity here in New England, but this is pretty stationary, and it's actually fairly light as far as precipitation is concerned. There is some yellows in there, which would indicate more moderate pockets of rainfall, but still nothing extreme expected there. And I'm moving further south because pretty much every single day, Florida expects isolated showers and thunderstorms to be a possibility, and today is not an exception. We do see these isolated and scattered thunderstorms and showers around for these regions. So expect it to be a possibility in southern Florida throughout the day. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to focus on the upcoming pattern. We're going to talk about the storminess upcoming over the next 10 days. We're going to talk about the total precipitation, total snowfall, and even the temperature pattern. And then we're going to break down the Storm Prediction Center as well to get a deep dive into the severe weather that is upcoming as well. So here we can see the precipitation on screen, our simulated precipitation here, and we can see that there is that storminess up in the northwest, and also here for some of the central-ish plains there. As we move towards later, I would say this is probably about 5 a.m. tomorrow. As we approach Wednesday, May 4th, we see quite a bit of precipitation up here in the northeastern corner of the nation, and also here for the Rockies, with some snowfall here in the Rockies, obviously not the eastern United States. And this will bring some stormy impacts here as we reach tomorrow evening. It's going to be about 8 p.m. The eastern seaboard is quite stormy by this point, and also here in the southern plains. But really the northern central United States and northwestern United States is high and dry, and also down there in the southwest, obviously. So really the only people dealing with storminess is going to be here in the kind of eastern and southern portions of the United States. As we approach towards Thursday afternoon, it's going to be May 5th, we see that there's quite a bit of precipitation here in the south central United States. This is the primary storm by this point. Only a 1001 millibar low pressure center, but that does not mean there can't be major impacts. And quite frankly, we do expect major impacts in the severe weather department with this storm. It does lower to a 999 here over Illinois and has widespread storminess around it, as you can see, spreading across many different states. We can see our next storm moving onshore here. This would be like storm number 4 at this point. I don't know. We're going to have to reset at some point, but that's by Friday afternoon. And by the time we reach Saturday mid-morning, I'd say about 11 a.m., we still see the storminess here in the eastern United States. And we also see here that there is some snowfall and rain there in the northwestern corner of the nation. So that's by Saturday mid-morning. By Sunday mid-morning, we see a little bit less precipitation here in the southeast. There's still some of it, but we see a bit less. There is some storminess here for the plains. And really, we're primarily seeing snowfall here in the western United States. Jet stream is doing something like this. A lot of warmth spreading into the eastern United States. And then we see this cold air primarily here over the northwestern corner there where the snowfall is occurring. Obviously, you need cold for snow, so we can make that assumption even just based off the snow, but I can see here that there's definitely cold air there. Now the jet stream gets even more dramatic with it, almost doing something like this. So that's going to allow for the warmest air of the season probably for most folks in the eastern United States. Very, very warm by the time we're reaching early next week. So that's going to be about 6 days from today. Again, we're seeing some cold air in here still. So we see plenty of storminess here for this region, but again, now it's dry for the southwest in through the eastern United States. By the time we reach about Tuesday afternoon, we see a lot of the same thing. We're stuck in this jet stream pattern. Very warm likely for the eastern and especially the central United States there. And especially as you move up into Canada, it's going to be dramatically warmer than it has been there. So that's where you'll notice the differences the most. That's going to be Tuesday, May 10th. Wednesday, May 11th, we see some storminess try to take place here over the central United States. Still the cold here in the west and the warm air here in the east. And then by Thursday, that's going to be May 12th, we still are stuck in this jet stream pattern here. Some cold air still trying to make its way in. But it is very warm and very dry here in the eastern half of the nation. There is some storminess here over the southeast taking place, but that's pretty isolated. And what's weird is we see this is moving actually in like this. This is moving from east to west. So it's almost a tropical motion here we're seeing in our storminess, which is very, very weird. And that's indicative of very warm temperatures in the eastern United States, since this is a lot of this is coming from the Caribbean and the tropics in general. So I'm going to be curious to see what shows up here once we move on to the temperature pattern. But first, let's take a look here at the total precipitation real quickly. And as you can see, we still expect a lot for the central United States, but a lot of what we were expecting has already fallen now. So we're seeing a little bit less showing up here. As you saw later on in that model run when we took a look at the simulated radar, we saw that actually that storminess kind of cuts off for the eastern half of the nation at a certain point, and we start to see that die down. And we move much towards a quieter pattern here in the eastern United States. Anyway, if you're anywhere in the whites, you're expecting no precipitation. If you're anywhere in the grays, you're expecting 0.1 or less inches of rainfall. If you're in the greens, you're at 0.1 to 0.5 inches of rainfall. Blues are going to be half an inch to an inch. Yellows will be an inch to 2 inches. Reds will be 2 to 5 inches. And if you're anywhere in the grays or browns, and I'm only seeing some of that there for the northwestern United States, that's where you're at 5 to 10 inches of rainfall over the next 10 days. Let's go ahead and take a look at that total snowfall real quickly here. And as you can see, none is expected basically east of the Rockies. So we see none over here. But we do see quite a bit here for the northwestern corner of the nation. And that is expected this time of year. This is still like the snowy season up here. Obviously here, it is not still the snowy season. As we approach into May, it becomes much rarer to see any sort of snowfall. So that is what we're dealing with at this point. If you're anywhere in the grays, you're at a dusting. If anything, blues will be 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. Purples will be 6 to 10. Pinks will be 10 to 20. And then your pastels are going to be 20 to 48 inches plus there. So you just have to find your region, find your color, and also the color table is here at the bottom of your screen as well, where you can kind of find a number that matches the color where you're at. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on and talk about that upcoming temperature pattern. Now here we are taking a look at the upcoming temperature pattern. We have some warmer air over the southeast and also over the four corner states as well, with some cold for the northwest and the north central United States at this point. As we move further with this, you can see things warm up even further here for the eastern United States. Things get even colder here for the central United States and the western United States. So most of the warmth is in the east by this point. By the time we reach Wednesday, we also have very warm temperatures here over the eastern and southern United States, with a lot of cold here over the north central and even the northeastern United States by this point. By the time we reach Thursday, we see that colder air is moving further and further east. We still see warmer air in the east, but that looks to possibly be coming to an end as we see this dynamic cooling starts to take place here in the eastern half of the nation, where there's so much storminess and there's just kind of near normal temperatures. But where it's stormy and cloudy, we just end up being colder because the sun is not able to get through. And this storminess lasts so long, and it's pretty persistent over the weekend. So still by Saturday, we're seeing decent temperatures, but that's due to the precipitation. It would be much warmer if it wasn't for that precipitation, because I think at this point the jet stream wants to be like this. But if it's cloudy and rainy, it's just going to bring those temperatures down, and that's what we're seeing happening here by Sunday, May 8th. Monday, May 9th, we still see some of this here for the eastern United States. We see very warm temperatures here in the central United States. And then Tuesday, same exact thing. We still see the colder temperatures in here, but much warmer here as you head further interior. Wednesday, same thing. We still see that colder air. And then even by time of reaching about, I would say it's about 8 p.m. on Thursday, you can see we're still stuck in this pattern like this. For these people in the southeast, it's just going to be near normal for quite a while. But everywhere else, I mean, very warm temperatures making its way into the northeastern United States, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, the Plains, all these regions, very, very warm. Now let's go ahead and move on and talk about the Storm Prediction Center. All right, now here we are taking a look at the day one categorical outlook, and all you need to know is the two lighter green areas is our general thunderstorm risks, and that's where we don't expect severe weather, but anything is possible, so heed all those watches, warnings, and advisories. The three darker green regions are going to be our marginal risk areas, and that's where we expect isolated severe weather to take place. The yellow area there for the Ohio Valley is our slight risk region, and that's where we expect scattered severe weather. Now let's take a look at those individual outlooks real quickly. And first things first, our day one wind outlook. This is all based on 25 miles of a given location, but we have a 5% chance of damaging wind within the three green regions, and then a 15% chance of damaging wind there within the yellow. For hail, it's the same thing except we get rid of the red region, or the yellow region. So we only have three green regions there where there's 5% chance of hail taking place. For tornadoes, we have two green regions, which indicates 2% chance of tornadoes. And then we have the one brown region there for Ohio and a little bit of some surrounding regions, and that's where we have a 5% chance of tornadoes throughout the day today. Now, for the day two categorical outlook, we have a very large general thunderstorm risk that spreads up and down the East Coast, through the Gulf Coast, and up into the Plains and even the Rockies. That's where, again, general thunderstorms are expected, but nothing can be ruled out, so pay attention. For our darker green region there, we have isolated severe weather expected. The yellow area, again, scattered severe weather is expected. And then the orange region there for Texas and Oklahoma is our enhanced risk area. And that's where we expect widespread severe weather to start becoming possible. So we're going to want to really pay attention there on day two or Wednesday, May 4th, for really bad severe weather. For the individual outlooks for this day, we have a 5% chance of damaging wind there in the green, and then a 15% chance of damaging wind there within the yellow. For hail, we have a 5% chance there in the brown, or green, better yet, a 15% chance there in the yellow, and then a 30% chance there within the red region of hail taking place. And we also have that significant hatched area in there, that black hatched region, and that is where large hail is going to be possible. 2-inch diameter or larger hail is going to be possible. That's what that is indicating, that it would be obviously very, very damaging hail if that was to take place. For the tornado outlook, we have a 2% chance there in the green, 5% chance there in the brown, and then a 10% chance there within the yellow for Texas and Oklahoma. And we even have that hatched area again popping up there for Texas and Oklahoma, and that is indicating that EF3 or larger tornadoes are going to be possible. So very, very large tornadoes are going to be a possibility for sure. That's going to be possible any day, but the ingredients are definitely there here on day two for Wednesday, May 4th. Now, for day three categorical outlook, we have two general thunderstorm risk areas there, one for the northern Rockies, and then one for a very large portion of the central and the southeastern United States. Now, within there, we have the darker green region, again, where isolated severe weather is expected. We have the yellow area, again, where scattered severe weather is expected. And then the orange region, again, where widespread severe weather appears possible for these regions. So we're going to want to really pay attention here Thursday, May 5th for severe weather. Now we have 2 extended days that we're watching for. One day is day 6, which is going to be Sunday, May 8th, and we're watching Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Nebraska for a slight risk of severe weather, at least there within that yellow region. And then day 7 here on Monday, May 9th, we're also watching this yellow region for a slight risk on that day, at least in that yellow region. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we are still at a 5 out of 6. I feel very confident in what we're talking about because everything is upcoming now and coming together, basically. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Lara LePan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kudalesa, Catbite, Charles Tennant, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Finn, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.